Hey,
Hey, what's going on?
how are you?
Good. I'm not sure what's going on with this live stream, and we don't have our guest. So anyone watching is going to be disappointed, and I'm not sure how to get him in. So
Oh, whoop, whoop. There we go. I clicked buttons this time. So the system is it thinks I'm you or it thinks you're me or I don't know what is happening, but I think I probably messed it up for both of us. So there you go.
that,
You're welcome, everyone.
well, I'm going to send Dave another message because quite literally have no topics for tonight without him on the show. So this might be a
Well,
really
I
short.
have I have plenty to talk about just with you, my friend.
Well, give me
So
just a
there's
second
that.
to send him another message if we
Yeah, go
can,
for it. Go for it.
and I can send him a text as well.
I mean, we can talk about the text I just sent you. I'm dead.
Who are you messaging, Matt?
Matt, of course. I had my pumps in up until like the moment we went live, and I was like, "Come get this milk, Matt, so it doesn't sit out on my desk for the next hour." It was just like, "Come get milk," except I sent it to John. Oh
Let
man.
me
Oh,
Hold on, I'm
good
messaging him now, and
stuff.
I'm sorry I shouldn't have taken us live, so I apologize if there's absolutely anybody watching. This wasn't my intention by any stretch of the imagination.
Our moms are gonna be pissed. Our moms who watch this live stream only. It's all good. It is all good.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I had like all kind of stuff set up, already ready to display, and because I had to log out and log back in, I lost all my work. So I quite literally have no.
No.
I'm
Ugh,
a
of
little
course.
flummoxed here, so you're gonna have to give me a couple minutes. Looks like Dave's coming in.
Dave's here.
Hey guys, sorry about that. Man, those initial links that you sent had me going through all of these functions to like add my channels and do all this weird stuff. I didn't know what I've never done that before.
Yeah,
Restream wants you to stream on all of your channels for all of the things.
Oh, I got no channels. I'm pretty low key.
Me either.
what's
Pretty
going
low
on
key.
with you, Mr. Newman?
Not much, guys. It's great to see you. How's the view here? You guys can see me okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
you
head looks
looking
extra shiny. It looks great. I love it.
looking
Bet-
good.
Better than mine.
Oh, good to see you guys. Nikki, it's also great to finally kind of meet you. I've obviously
I
known about you and
know.
followed you around, but you're always so
How
busy at all the
funny.
events.
I know. I feel like we've crossed paths at like some live events here and there over the course of however long we've been in this for a minute now. But I know I feel like I
Wow.
haven't had a chance to sit down like face to face with you ever. So this is actually really nice.
Yeah, exciting for me too. I love your work, and I question
Thanks.
your choices and cohorts, but I imagine you're experimenting.
Mhm.
I don't know.
You know,
Hey,
John is the one that pulled me in
yeah, for the
fairness.
record, I
So
chose her, not the other way
it's
around.
true.
Okay,
So
It's
well,
very true.
you should actually be complimenting my choices, not questioning hers. So that she,
I
I'm
compliment your
quite
choices, but
lucky.
I still question her choices to shield and protect.
I, I
That's
was
fair.
I was
Marked
cursing you
safe
tonight,
from
Dave.
John Woolley.
I was cursing you a little bit tonight,
Yeah,
and
double unders in the workout, probably, right?
yeah, I'm gonna show it to
Mm.
you too. I'm because now we have this new technology. I'm gonna pull this up on the screen so you can see it. Look at this foolishness. Eight.
Okay.
It's 8 rounds essentially. You're doing 4 AMRAPs twice, but
Okay.
every 3-minute AMRAP opens with 50 double unders. So you do the math. It's 400 double unders by the time you're done. My
Piece of
calves
cake.
are
Piece of cake.
screaming. My calves are screaming.
Well,
Where is this programming from, John? Is this from one of the gyms you've been going to or
Yeah, it's the gym I joined actually, which is Crooked River CrossFit, a couple of miles from my house. And they go Tuesday's cardio day, and I'm like, I'm not sure this is cardio, but okay, let's go. And yeah, it was brutal, but I will say, where I wasn't cursing you is I was using the new Evo rope,
okay.
and I
Ooh.
did the first 4 rounds unbroken, and then when I got into the second half, I chose to not do them unbroken because I needed to catch my breath because I was dying after that first round of assault bike calories or echo bike calories. And then on the last round, I did them unbroken, but I did them like really fast. Like you can get that rope, you can get that rope really whipping quick.
Mm-hmm.
I rattled off 50 in like, 20, 25 seconds or something. The coach looked at me
Nice.
like, he's like, what the hell? And I'm like, it's the beauty of the rope. Like if you need to go fast, you can, but you pay for it, and I paid for it. It was
Awesome.
brutal. My calves are dying, man. They're absolutely dying. Good workout.
Yeah, that's a good amount of volume. That's where, knowing your threshold, knowing your current fitness status is key to, decide whether you should maybe scale that back a little bit, just do 30 per round, something like that, maybe.
I'm not a punk. What are you talking about? I'm not scaling.
That's
He has
so
a different
funny.
show for that. There's a whole nother show.
Oh yeah,
where he
that's right.
scales.
I've been on that one, the scale and bail. Yeah.
Yeah,
There
well,
you go. Take your own podcast advice. Advice.
No, well, I don't have to. I personally don't have to scale double unders, and that's one thing I don't have to scale. And it's just high volumes. All it was. It was just a lot. I have not been doing them in that volume recently, so it was fun.
Well, it's funny. I think we talked about this when I was on your other podcast with Ben, and we did discuss that, and it's like I scale a lot. Like I used to be so into competitive CrossFit and training 3 times a day, 6 days a week, back when you didn't have all this, periodization and everything was more scientific. Back
Right.
then, 14 years ago, we were just going as hard as we could, as often as we could. And the more sore we were, the better. It meant we were doing something. Right. And that lasts for so long. And then your body says, put the brakes on. And now, like, for example, I know I saw Nikki at the semifinals, several of the semifinals, and those are long days. You don't get your training in, and when I get back to my home gym, I scale. I ease myself back into it, and I take my own advice, because anytime I see newcomers to CrossFit, I always tell them, you don't need to race with anybody in here. Just get sweaty and practice good movement, learn good movement, get sweaty, you'll get there. So
yeah, there was a guy at my gym who was relatively new, like first couple months, and he started coming in twice a day, same workout, same group class. Just, he'd do like the 6 a.m. and then he'd do like the 5:30 p.m. and I was just like, yeah, that won't last. I remember that newcomer energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right.
and then
Like,
of course,
twice
as a
as much
coach, I'm
must
like,
be good.
right, of course, yeah. But as
Yeah.
a coach, I'm like, if you're able to come here tonight, you probably didn't work as hard as you could have this morning. But I remember the excitement and the energy and the like, yeah, totally. Go as hard as you can, as often as you can, and eventually they ease into it.
That's funny. Yeah, it's interesting. You guys have been around for quite a while, and we was talking about this at the semifinal events with Wilson, the organizer over there at the MAC and Syndicate, and several others. Actually, some of the local affiliate owners that were helping out with CrossFit's booth. The activations with the affiliates, and it was really interesting to kind of make observations about the old CrossFit. The way things used to be, and where it was more of a edgy underground kind of thing. We always joke about board shorts and Converse,
Yep.
and now, now that things are much more commercialized, you have a different demographic coming in, and it's kind of interesting to see, what that's like, and how new people coming in kind of how they receive it, and also how their experience looks different than ours, from way back when.
I remember starting and spending hours, and I mean hours, researching on how to make gymnastics wraps because nobody sold them.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least within the CrossFit space, And I got
What do you
really
mean wrap?
good
What
at
kind of
buying.
wraps?
Yeah, hand wraps. So I would buy rolls of tape and just make my
Yeah,
own hand
same.
wraps, and I got really good at it, like real good at it.
You mean
Remember
for
you
grips? For
Yeah,
bar
For
grips?
grips.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
grips.
yeah.
Yeah, and like you couldn't find anything in those days. That's you couldn't, I was having all the new person problems, and trying to solve them and nowhere to go. Trying to figure out like what do you do when you're getting rope burns, and what do you do when your
Yeah.
hands are ripping, and I bald. So like, what are you doing? That sweat's falling in your face. And, you know, nobody made even good shoes at the time. Shoes was the biggest problem because we didn't have nanos then. You know, like I found Innovates and I thought somebody had just cured cancer for me. Like finally found a kind of a light pair of shoes that were flat, you know, and those are the old blue Smurf ones, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
195s.
Yeah, just such a different time than now where, I mean, I was like scrolling Instagram today and like literally every other photo, somebody selling something, you know, to solve some CrossFit problem. You know, it's just kind of such a different era.
You know what I miss? I miss back in the day when there wasn't a lot, but there were a couple, like you said, like Innovate was, you know, kind of like the shoe that we went to. I feel like the customer service around that stuff was like epic. Like I remember when I had like 7 pairs of Innovates, like whatever they made, I bought into. But when I was first deciding if it was like 195s or I think it was also they had 250s, right? Something like that, or 295, something like that. 295s. I sent an email and I was like, "Hi, I'm like starting CrossFit and I don't know what shoe to get." And like had a legit full on like friendly back and forth conversation with someone from customer service at Innovate who was like, "Let me help you pick the perfect shoe." And similarly, for 5 minutes, I worked for Again Faster doing marketing for them before like the company got sold. It was really at the very end of it. But back in the day, like Again Faster's whole shtick was like, if you have a home gym or if you're an affiliate owner and you just bought a space or you're renting a space or whatever, you call them and they will like figure out the layout of your space and help you customize how many pieces of rig and what should go where. And like a physical human in Norwood, Mass would like walk a gym owner or a home gym owner through that process. And I just remember that being so like special. It was like really one-on-one, really small community efforts. And that's a little bit gone with as big as we get. But at the same time, like I love all the extra gear. So no complaints.
Well, so you've never come to our facility here in San Diego where we still give that white glove, very personalized treatment to everybody that walks through the doors. They all, yeah, absolutely. They come in, like we have our headquarters here where we assemble most all of our products. You know, we have a little brick and mortar store that people come in, and we have a fully dedicated 1,500 square foot gym. And so we bring everybody out to the gym after they sign their waiver, and you know, we coach them up, figure out what they need, and you know, go in, help them make the selection, and they get to watch it being built through a window that goes into our manufacturing side, and it's a fun little experience. So I'm happy to hear you say that you appreciated that era, and I'm proud to say that we are keeping that alive.
That's so cool. I didn't know you guys did all of that. How fun.
Yeah. It's super fun. It's super fun to.
You know, when I started doing double unders, and at this point it's over a decade ago, I was using the Buddy Lee rope. That was the first rope someone gave me, and I liked it because it was light, but it didn't hurt when it hit you, you know. And I had the first one with the big red handles that were like super long, you know.
Yep.
And I didn't love those, so I switched and I bought the shorter handles, and I like those better. And I got pretty good at them. And then I decided I want a big boy rope. So I go on the RX Smart Gear website and I buy myself a big boy rope. And because I'm a dude and I got an ego, I'm like, oh, of course I need the thinnest rope possible. I don't want the heaviest rope. So I get the thinnest rope, and all of a sudden I can't do double unders again, you know, but I'm in the middle of a workout with this thing, and I have a mean ass coach at the time. Cause in those days, coaches were mean. I don't know if they still are everywhere, but my coach was mean, and she wouldn't let me change ropes. And by the time I was done, I'm not shitting you, my legs were purple from just smacking myself with this rope. And I went and hung it up on the gym wall, and I didn't touch that thing again for a year. I went back to Buddy Lee until I got really good at double unders. And then I went back to RX Smart Gear, and I've been there ever since.
That's funny. That's funny. What a great story.
It hurts so bad. I'll never forget that.
They'll stick with you. Nikki, how long have you been around the CrossFit space?
Yeah, so I started CrossFit in 2011 and started coaching in 2012. So a million years.
Very cool. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, we are all OGs.
Yeah, I still don't have abs, for the record. Throwing that out there.
just had a baby pretty recently, I think, right?
Yeah,
So
10 months ago. Actually, let me just casually hand off my milk. Thanks. Good timing.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
convinced that I mean, I tell this to people all the time, like, you want abs, that's diet. You're not gonna get it at
it
CrossFit,
is.
or
It
you
is.
need to
Right.
switch to bodybuilding and do something more aesthetic. Like,
Yeah. No,
CrossFit's,
totally.
totally functional, at least for me. Um, and I drink too much to keep abs on a routine basis. So,
Yeah. I just donuts and carbs.
oh,
well,
you guys are
we're in a 45-day window right now until the games are coming around. So I'm on a LaCroix kick right now. So
Oh
kettlebells and
my
cocktails is
God.
kettlebells and LaCroix. We're real close to the game.
Wow. I didn't
Yeah.
even realize that. Yeah, it's funny that we like every year we're like, man, we really got to like look fit for watching other people fitness. You just want to
yeah.
feel like you're part of it. You want to go there and you want to like feel good about yourself. You want to be like, I'm in this community. Look at me. I work out. Duh.
Hey, that's the beautiful part about the games. Everyone there looks like they can be called onto the field at any moment in time.
And you never know if you will be.
I know. You
Right.
never know.
Oh my
You
goodness.
never know. Dave, are you guys gonna have a booth at the games this year, or are you just going to spectate?
Yeah, we're gonna go support athletes. No booth. Yeah, the economics of that side of things have kind of gotten out of hand. So unfortunately,
Mm.
it's not cost effective to try and engage at the games anymore.
It is
But
crazy expensive. I was talking to somebody about that, and they were telling me their booth costs. I'm like, holy shit! And they were selling
yeah,
T-shirts, which is even worse. It's like, man.
yeah. No, we had attended 10 games in a row from 2010, the first year that I was in Carson, up through 2019, and so we only got to that 10th one, on the hair of Chinny Chin Chin, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
um, just because they raised the prices that year. And we really wanted to get that 10th year in because at the time, besides Rogue, we were the only other company that had been that consistent, and for that long. And so I actually called in a favor to Dave Castro, and not that we're buddies by any means, but we've known each other for a long time, and he's always been super gracious to us. And so he worked it out so we could get a little discount, basically get the prior year's pricing, so we could come back. So which was, and he extended that discount to some of our competitors as well. So he was being pretty fair-handed with it, but that let us get our 10th year in, and I was pretty stoked for that. And after that, we pretty much knew that we wouldn't be going back, unless things shake out differently. I mean, I think as long as companies keep writing the check, they'll just keep the prices up or keep raising them to test the waters. And so I'm real anxious to see how it is this year, because you guys went last year and obviously Vendor Village was half the capacity, right, half the
Right.
size.
Yeah.
There were probably, I think there were at best 60% vendors showed up, and they had a big Zoom meeting with Castro. This is last year they had with Castro and Justin Berg and Billy Rogers from Frameworks, and
Yep.
it was a big rah-rah with all the vendors, trying to give us confidence that it was going to be a good show and good attendance, and it'd be worthwhile for us to go, and give us a chance to ask questions. And we opted to, well, sit it out, just because again the prices still aren't conducive. And so and then when we got there and saw how sparse it was, I mean, it was almost like going back to 2010, 2011, when we were still growing up and the numbers were getting bigger every year. This was kind of going the other direction, but it looked like 2010, 2011 all over again. So yeah, and they are keeping the prices the same. So yeah, so we'll go expect. Honestly, Sue and I really enjoy like watching the event, to go for so many
Mm-hmm.
years in a row. And for the last few years while it was at Carson, we started renting a VIP booth in the tennis stadium, so that we could entertain guests and friends and coaches and athletes, and then we could go get away and go watch whenever we could. And even then, we were rarely getting over to the booth. We're spending gobs of money to have access to it.
Right.
So it's nice the last couple of years that we've gone and just been able to enjoy it and support and share. We have so many friends competing, so yeah, it'll be fun.
How are you feeling about Castro's return?
I'm excited. I am. I mean, it's funny. It's one of the things that we were kind of talking about at the different semifinals, and that's that when CrossFit started. I mean, we always had the visionary, right, leading, right. Kind of our Jim Jones, for lack of a better analogy. But you had that visionary, and you either bought in or you jumped ship. I mean, it was up to you, and the people that bought in really bought in, and Glassman, good, bad, or indifferent, was a very charismatic, intelligent, human that got a lot of people to follow along, and Castro was very much that as well. So now we kind of have this commercialization of CrossFit where it's run by a board, and when he was gone and we had an interim CEO that we didn't even know about, you were kind of floating like, well, what are we doing? Like, what's happening here, right? Like, are we barely treading water? I mean, what's going to happen, especially a company like ours where CrossFit's our biggest market, and the one that we're most closely tied to, and we grew up in CrossFit, right, since '09. So to have him back definitely brings back somebody who you can kind of depend on as your captain that'll steer the ship, whether it's on the affiliate side, which I think is definitely important, or whether he gets back over to the game side. So it'll be interesting. I listened to, did you listen to his interview with Savon when he came back?
No, I missed it.
Yeah. It's a good listen to go back and kind of just, get his take on some of the things and kind of just his direction and where he's at this time. But I'm definitely glad to have him back. But at the same time, I was very curious how a commercial entity was going to run CrossFit. Like, okay, which direction are they going to take it? I mean, is this going to become another Peloton?
Well, I'm still interested to see how they do that. I mean, people shouldn't be deceived by Dave coming back into thinking that the board will make decisions in the best interest of the company.
Sure.
And which means, they get their say, Dave doesn't long term. And that's the way boards work. It's nothing.
Sure.
I'm excited Dave's back. So that's not a critique on him in any stretch of the imagination. It's just, kind of the way it is. It will be interesting to watch them coexist. And it was a really good decision for them and very unusual for a board of directors to make a move like that. So I'm excited to see it play out and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. So he's got his work cut out for him. You're right.
Well, I feel like they'll get it. It'll start to turn. I mean, if anything, I'm already sensing, and Nikki, I don't know what you're sensing, but you talk to a lot of people too, so maybe you can weigh in here. I'm sensing the community, kind of the mood is better. And that's a good thing in a community like this that's really tight knit, and you got a lot of people messaging each other and text streams and everything else. I think that's a really good thing for the brand.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think that the vibe is absolutely that this is the right move. And I think that when Dave was first let go, there was a lot of emotion. And I don't think a lot of people knew where to place that. I think that some people were like, yeah, maybe he, people love to complain, right? Is he the right figurehead of the sport? Is he leading us in the professional sport direction? And there was a lot of like, we loved to debate that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden he was gone and people were like, well, wait, like, I don't know if I really meant that, like, good, bad, or not.
Right.
Like, he was ours, and and I've said this before on the show, like, I love the theatrics. I love that he was like the quote unquote villain, like the guy you love to hate around the open, because what is he going to program for us? And it's going to be so rough, and he's going to be like dramatic at the reveal. And like, I loved having that character in the sport side of things, outside of all the background stuff that I know because I've seen it with my own two eyes, how hard he works and how much he values the athletes. Like, I was certainly missing that. And I don't know. I also didn't really complain, I feel like, as much as a lot of other people, because like just businesses run how businesses run, and I don't pretend to know or understand why they make decisions. All I can say is that I do think the vibe overall from the community is like good. He belongs here. He represents our sport, and everyone knows he does a lot of great work on the ground. So putting him on the affiliate side of things feels like it's going to really go in the right direction. And I, for one, am very excited to see him in this role.
Yeah, 100%. I think well said. I don't know if people remember back in 2015, I want to say, he did a thing called the TDC drop-in, and he had, made a goal to himself that he wanted to try and drop into every affiliate in Southern California, which was about 90, and do a workout. Yeah, drop in, meet the owners, meet the coaches, do a workout with a class, and hit all of them. And he gave himself like a year, which was freaking awesome, right? Like, who does that? Who on the board at CrossFit is going to go do that, right? Who's going to be the face? That was awesome. And at the time, we our dedicated gym, we affiliated for a few years, just really just to kind of pitch in and be a part of, be that part of the community. And plus, I just really wanted to have the name CrossFit Smart. I just thought that was a great name.
It's awesome.
Because it's a name, but it's also a demand. It's like a directive. CrossFit Smart, not dumb. But so we were one of the facilities that he dropped in to do a workout, and it was super cool for him to do that. And we got to spend time together, and that was the year that I was able to influence him to get heavy jump ropes, heavy double unders into the games. Was that year? It was the last year in Carson in 2015. So
I remember that.
Yeah, we put him through a heavy jump rope workout. We knew athletes weren't using heavy jump ropes back then. Everybody's using their little dinky speed ropes.
Yep. I'll never forget I had a hit, like they always come to me live, before the event starts. And I had threaded a speed rope through like a 5-pound plate. And I was like holding it up to the camera. I was like, this is what they're doing effectively. It was like, weren't they like 5-pound ropes or like 2.5-pound ropes? I can't remember. It was something along those lines.
Well, yeah, I think they ended up using, even though I pitched hard to use our rope, and that's what I had Dave, when he did the drop in, we did a workout with our rope, which was a 1/2 pound. The cord is a 1/2 pound. And the handles are normal light handles. And they ended up using Rogue's rope, since, Rogue's the official equipment provider.
Yes.
And that year we were a larger sponsor. That was the 10th anniversary of the games. It was the last year that was going to be in Carson. So we wanted to play a bigger role. And so we were a bigger partner sponsor that year, but we didn't negotiate to be the official jump rope that year. Actually, that was the year we were also the official jump rope of CrossFit, but not the games. That's still owned by Rogue. So Rogue put their heavy rope in the games. And those ropes, the handles had, I think, 1 pound of weight in each hand, and then a 1/2 pound cord.
Oh, so maybe I threaded a 2.5-pound plate.
Yeah, that'd probably be more real. Yeah, there
that sounds right.
So pound.
But I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like insane back in the day. Every year at games there was something, and you were like, "How are they gonna do it? The peg? How are they gonna do it?"
Right.
And then like 2 years later, like every gym's a pegboard in it.
Well,
like, no,
and that's that brings up another really interesting point, and this is something that we've always said. It kind of like all ties in with Castro going away and then coming back, but we used to always have this debate that what the games athletes do is superhuman. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And it's not, it's not what the regular gym goers in an affiliate need to be doing. But that being said, we're always influenced by what the games athletes do, and all of the stuff that, Castro threw out there for the competition. We would all eventually adopt it in our affiliates anyway. Just like you said, the pegboard's a perfect example. Heavy ropes, whatever it might be, just because you want to try something new, right? You want to try and get better. You want to try and get stronger. And they're putting it out there and showcasing it. And the games athletes are doing it way heavier and way faster than we can do it, but we still want to try. So having that as kind of our guide, and again, back to the visionary, right? That I think that's what we were missing. He left after Glassman left, and after Castro left. That was my concern is, well, who's the visionary and who are we following now? Or are we all just following the methodology, but we don't have a leader anymore, So yeah, so excited to see where things go.
Here we have an interesting question came in the chat actually along this line. So what do you guys want Castro to do? So Dave, we'll just give it to you first, Dave. So any changes you'd like to see him make coming back in? What's his stamp need to be?
I mean, in listening to his interview with Savon, I mean, it sounds like he's really going to be rolling up his sleeves and getting involved with the affiliates. And, I think for the greater health of CrossFit overall, which it's such a huge economy, right? If you think about all the businesses that Nikki, you alluded to earlier, all of the different companies and businesses that have, in mine included, that have come to fruition because of CrossFit, that only happened because of the affiliate model. So, really strengthening the affiliate model and getting more quality gyms out there, more jumping on board, less jumping off, right? You get all the affiliates that, figured like, hey, I can do that. I don't need to pay for an affiliate. I don't need this anymore. I can be ABC Fitness. I don't have to be ABC CrossFit, and they jump ship. I think we need to stop that bleeding and try and get more quality affiliates on board. And so just on the affiliate support side, the things that Dave can probably bring to the table, just so that, the education is good and that they're not only just, teaching coaches how to coach, but, CrossFit, the one big thing I've always disliked about CrossFit, and this was Glassman's whole, cream rises to the top, is, hey, low barrier of entry, great. You own your own business, run it how you want, good luck. And there were no boundaries, and you'd see gyms open up, and we'd travel around teaching workshops, our jump rope workshops, and we'd go to a gym and there would be a competitor like literally across the street, and you're just thinking, how could you let that happen? So things like that were never really vetted out and provided to affiliates to help them run a successful business and giving them some structure. I think those are things that that could really help, create a stronger environment. So that's what I would like to see, honestly. I mean, the games, it'd be great to see him get back to the games just for like the show of it, and just for the sentimental aspect of it. But I think overall, yeah, stronger affiliate environment.
Nikki, how about you?
Well, first of all, hi, Mark. Thanks for asking this question. Mark is my internet friend. He's also a pediatrician, and I've bothered him so many times with questions about my baby when he was first home. So, hi, Mark. So I think two things. I think, first of all, in terms of like what Dave specifically can help lend himself to on the affiliate side of things, I feel like his like fame and his like notoriety within our community can be leveraged to help boost affiliates and individual affiliates and things that are happening in affiliates, like the drop-in thing that you mentioned is like a perfect example. Like, don't you know, every single time he dropped into a gym and tagged a gym, people were like clicking on it and checking out that gym and seeing what that gym's Instagram page was like or whatever. Like, he alone, sharing something that a gym on one coast is doing or explaining how another gym had like a success story is going to help people get eyes on different gyms. So I feel like lending his fame within our community to the things that are happening on the ground is going to be a really great way to leverage him in this position. In addition, I don't know if this is really a Dave Castro specific thing, but something that I would love to see in terms of help or guidance from HQ to each individual affiliate model is I think that we should have like a best practices type of thing. And maybe this already exists. I don't own a gym, so I don't know.
It does.
But
it does exist.
Well, I was going to say specifically for getting new members, a best practices guide or workshop or touch base or something about how to grow your membership, because that's how these gyms need to survive. Like they have turnover. They need to get people in the door in order to put food on their table. So I don't know if that's like a marketing 101. Happy to help make that, by the way, CrossFit, if you need me. But like a marketing 101, even like a Facebook ads 101 to put some geographic targeting on like come for a free class, come to this gym. Like, how do you get people in your door what are some recommendations you can make, and support from HQ in that respect, I think would help gym owners specifically start turning a profit, because sometimes they don't for a really long time. And that's hard for
Right.
them. That's hard for them to put food on their own table, you know?
Yeah, well, it's funny. Like a lot of this stuff exists, and what's interesting, where I'd like to see, where I think Castro will make an impact, and I don't know all this for fact. A lot of this is just anecdotal and just stuff I see. But um, I was talking to an affiliate owner the other day, and they said, "Oh, my affiliate rep called me. It's the first time I've heard from him in a couple of years." And this is just a couple of weeks after Castro came in, and I'm like, "Oh, well, what'd you guys talk about?" And they said, "Well, we talked about affiliate roundtables where we're partnering with other gyms to." To your point, Nikki, to talk about, how to generate more members and revenue and how
Yeah.
to make
Cool.
money and all that sort of thing. And I said to him, I'm like, well, they've had this for a couple of years now. Like
Yeah.
they've had it for a long time. And he's like, yeah, but we haven't heard from anyone. And it occurred to me in that moment that I think this is what Castro brings to the table, is that he brings the structure and organization, and I don't know if it's from his past of being a Navy SEAL or it's just how he is, but I think you could see that on his impact in the games, of how structured and well organized the games were in the time that he ran it. I think he'll bring that to the affiliate model too. And I think that's a big, big plus for the affiliates if they really start to understand where their resources are and how to leverage them, and to your point, they have classes about, how to drive revenue. As a matter of fact, I was reading today, but they're teaching a seminar. I forget exactly what it was called. It was like the 5 R's of revenue or something. I'm like, well, I want to know what the 5 R's are. I run a business, but
Yeah, seriously.
yeah, teach me. But I thought that was really interesting, and so I hope that's what Dave's going to bring to the table, is the structure and organization to the affiliate model to really help them understand their resources. So what they do feel they're getting is value for that $3,000 a year they're spending. Otherwise, they're going to do what, Dave here was saying, which is go, well, why do I need this? And continue to attrite, and that's what we don't want them to do. So knock on wood, that's what he brings. But
Is that the affiliate fee now? $3K a year?
Yep.
it's been that for a while. I don't know if it's
It has.
higher or lower than that, but I think the new people coming in, it is. And to Dave's point, I'd love to see them, put some restrictions on it. I've been in plenty of gyms where there's one across the street or a mile down the street.
Yeah.
And I've always felt like that's a huge risk to the business, because
100%.
you end up with both gyms going out of business eventually. I mean,
Right.
that's what happens, and
You guys, when I started CrossFit, there was no gym for like over an hour away.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? And I think
Wow.
it took even a minute for that one to open, or they opened around the same time. But like, yeah, there was like one like an hour away, and then there was one like 2.5 hours away.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is. And that you're in Massachusetts?
I'm in Rhode Island now, but at the time I was living in Maine.
In Maine, okay.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
like wild. And you couldn't you wanted to find other, Matt and I went down to Portland for the day, and we were like, we got to drop into a gym. It's the only these are the only other people who know what we're doing right now. And it was like, needle in a haystack finding your people.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. CrossFit's pretty amazing. It's brought so many amazing people into our life. I mean, all of our friends for the last 14 years, they're all via CrossFit. I mean, and internationally, just people. It's kind of wild when you think about the people that you guys have probably encountered in your lives that never would have if it weren't for CrossFit.
It's wild. You said, my best friends. Yeah.
So many amazing people. Yeah. So that's if anything, for me, besides the economics of it and the fitness and health and benefits and things like that, but it's the relationships are crazy, and honestly, I work out typically at 5:30 in the morning with the morning crew, and we're all geezers in there just having fun, and it's honestly they subconsciously they hold me accountable, because I know that if I'm not there or if I'm missing days, I'm going to get shit when I come back. What are you doing? Where you been? Why you getting lazy, falling off the wagon? So it's neat to have that, just that little voice that your crew's looking for you. So yeah, so many cool things.
it is interesting how the relationships are built. And Nikki, I don't think I've ever told you a story, but the first time I met Dave was virtually. He sent me a message. I think it was on Instagram, and he's like, "Hey, I want to talk to you. I'm creating this idea, and I want to run it past you." And so I think we hooked up via phone. He's like, "I'm starting a Instagram page called Make Dubs Great Again, and I didn't want to do it without your permission." And I'm like, "You don't need my permission." I don't own that name. You don't need my permission. But I always thought that was a real classy thing because I had my page wasn't very big at the time. Like it really wasn't. Like it was kind of still
You were
kind of
popular.
brand new.
You
But it was still
were
kind of
growing.
brand new. Well, I was, but that is the point is like you didn't have to do that. Like it was just a real classy move. And I was like, "Oh, it's really kind of interesting." Here we are now, 4 or 5 years later, still, getting to chat and see each other at events and texting back and forth. And Nikki, I don't know if I told you this either. Dave's helping sponsor the adaptive campaign that I'm wrapping up.
Yes. I
And so huge
love
thank
that
you to
work, you
you and
guys.
to RX Smart Gear for that. We've
Always.
got 28 winners. I was going through their names today. And by the way, it's hard as hell to contact these people. I thought it'd be easier. I should put more thought into this when I started the campaign, but I've been just like literally emailing gyms and like, friends of friends.
Detective work.
Well, it didn't occur to me that, I'm just such a dumbass. Like, I just assume everyone's on Instagram and everybody knows who I am. Meanwhile, 6 of these, competitors are in the vision division. So what use do they have for Instagram usually? Like some had Instagram, but I think like 4 of them didn't. So now I got to go to their gyms and find out, hey, this athlete won. I want to send them a prize. Like it's really has been interesting. But super grateful, Dave, for you guys being a part of that and just supporting the community because these athletes have just absolutely busted their ass, just like every other athlete out there. And I think it's going to be a really cool thing. And we're going to put some cash in their pocket. And it sounds like they're all getting invites to Madison anyway to do a podium ceremony. So
very cool.
Hopefully this will defer some of the costs for them, which, because, plane tickets now are like $1 bazillion.
Oh,
so
no
truly.
Even if they're driving, it'll be $1 bazillion. So
no, that's so true. Can I tell a quick plane ticket story? Actually, this is very timely.
Yeah.
So you guys, I'm going to do my first overnight away from the baby.
Ooh,
look at that.
That's monumental. Before a year? Inside of a year? Wow. Wow.
Just one night this week on Thursday. Lord help me. But anyway.
Daddy gets the baby?
Yeah, Dad's got the baby.
Okay.
No, Dad's got the baby. And I have to just travel for work for like less than 48 hours. Like leave on Thursday morning, come back on Friday night. But it's like I said, it's a work trip and we're just heading down to the DC area for the day and a half and holy plane tickets. Like it is like a 40-minute direct flight from here to there. And the plane tickets were like triple what I remember them being.
Yeah,
there were times where truly like there and on top of that, did you hear about like all the crazy cancellations and everything? Like part for weather, of course, but part because they like can't find people to fly the plane. Like, please fly the plane. Yeah. Someone needs to fly the plane.
It's like the baggage handlers and the people on the ground. They just can't staff right now. And that's
no one can.
It was their own fault. They laid all the people off, and then when they were able to get back to business, nobody came back. Or not all of them. So it's tough. It's a tough world.
Yeah, we haven't booked our tickets to Madison yet. We just started looking, and we were literally debating. I have a Sprinter van, so we were just debating, like, how we always said we wanted to kind of drive and explore
road
different parts of the
baby.
country. Yeah, but gas isn't making it very enticing either.
No,
diesel gas in a 48-gallon tank. So that'd be interesting just to take a little road trip and go sightseeing a little bit on our way out there and on our way back. So
we almost did that last year because I was so pregnant. I was like the most pregnant. So we almost drove out to games last year. And I think it would have been like 18 hours or something crazy from my house.
I'm road tripping it for sure.
You are? Well, it's not all that far.
It's like 8 hours.
Yeah, like 8 hours?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Oh, I wish it was 8 hours.
But it's all cornfields. You go through Chicago is the only thing you see, and then everything else is cornfields the whole way.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It smells great, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's lovely.
cow fields and stuff.
Totally
Yeah.
lovely. I do want to talk about new innovation and stuff you guys are working on. You guys can have all kind of new
Oh yeah.
stuff going on. What do you have going on in RX Smart Gear right now?
Well, I'm trying to think of last time we spoke. What did we come out with since the last time we talked? Did we have all the air stuff out, the air mat and the air box?
I have not used them, so I think maybe you were just talking about it. Like I didn't see those when I was with you or when I saw
Okay.
you, so maybe
Yeah,
they
so
just come out.
we brought out the air mat first. The air mat is it's an inflatable 6 foot by 3 foot by 4 inch, real durable. It's almost similar to a inflatable paddleboard. Kind of similar material,
Yeah.
but it's actually meant to be a tumbling surface. So the company that manufactures those for tumbling, I got a hold of their West Coast distributors, and they're luckily they're here in my town. So we hooked up and said, hey, I need this for people to jump rope on. And just it's amazing for people that have joint issues or people that are a little older, need a little more bounce in their step. It's also great for hotshot athletes that need to work on skill, because it just allows them to get a lot of reps in, and getting a little bit more air time solves a lot of problems for people. So the air mat's been
Yeah.
great.
Wait,
I
I
could use
also
that
love that,
today.
like I also love that, like, if you let's say you work out at home, but the only space you have to do your double unders is, like, out in your driveway or something, that you're not
Yeah.
wrecking your rope.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah. Well, for that, we actually have a doormat. It doubles as a doormat and a jump rope mat. So literally,
Ah, the
it's a
jumping mat.
doormat jumping mat, and it's the size of a doormat. It's just a few feet long by whatever 2 feet wide, but fits perfectly in front of your door. Has our logo on it. I don't know if you can see that, but
Yep,
but
I'm
then you
looking at it right now.
pull it away and turn it perpendicular, and then jump on it. And it's just for your rope, to take the impact for your rope, so it doesn't get all scratched up. But
It's
so then
perfect.
we took the air mat and reconfigured that into an air box. So it's a 24-inch high plyo box, just to replace a wooden box. So you can't hurt yourself on it. Of course, as soon as I say that,
Yeah.
somebody will find a way to hurt
Challenge
themselves.
accepted.
Yeah, challenge
Right.
accepted. Exactly. Yeah, you'd have a hard time bashing your shins on, is what I'm getting at. Like if you miss and you avoid the shin banging, and it's also just much better for your joints to jump on. So again, for people, there are a lot of people out there who are traumatized from missing a box jump and won't do it anymore. Like they refuse to do box jumps. They'll just do step ups or what have you. So a product like this just kind of opens the door for them to get back into it and have a safer
Bro,
environment.
I
Oh
missed a
So
my
box jump like 2
god.
days ago, and I did not want to make another attempt. And it
yeah,
was a short sprint. It was like a 3-minute sprint, and I missed one. And I'm like, I stepped back from the box. I'm like, do I have to do it again? But I had to because I had like 10 reps to go. That's the worst feeling. I would have loved to have had that box.
I
absolutely,
love this. This is
absolutely.
so cool, Dave. Like, what a great
Thanks.
idea. I'm looking at it right now on your website. And it's like inflatable, so it's filled with air, but it's
Hmm.
still like heavy enough that you can like it doesn't like flip out from under you. Cause sometimes I feel like even the little boxes, if you use like a junior wooden box or a half wooden
Right.
box, when I jump on it, I'm like, ooh, like I hope I
Yeah.
get on the right side of it.
Right, for sure. So it's funny when we were developing it, I originally had the dimensions match the regular Rogue, competition boxes, right? Three-sided boxes, right? 20-inch,
Yeah.
24-inch, and 30-inch. So I had it mimic that size, as if it were on the 24-inch height, right? So 30 inches wide, only 20 inches of depth in front of you. And that was just too unstable, because actually it is very light. So that's the thing, that when people jump on it initially, it could feel unstable, just because it is light. But I ended up changing it to a 30 by 30 footprint. So it's a 30 by 30 square, which makes it way more stable. So when I use it,
Yeah.
I don't anchor it down. But for people who we knew would probably be a little bit annoyed by it feeling, wobbly, we have Velcro anchors that strap to the top, and it's just like a big chin strap that you can put a weight plate through, and just put a couple of, either 15 or 25-pound weight plates on either side, and then it's rock solid. But like I used it during the open that had all those box jump workouts, and I was
Yeah.
trying to haul butt. My 53-year-old, with saggy ass was trying to go as fast as I could. But it was great because I went ballistic. For me, I went ballistic, and I wasn't worried about, the consequences. And I mean, knock on wood, I didn't crash or anything, but I didn't care if I did, because it wouldn't have hurt. But so it's a little pricey. It's again one of those things where we have to get volume up and try and work on price points with our manufacturer. So, but just uber convenient, because you can deflate it, roll it up like a taco, fits in a closet. It's got 6 different heights, from 4 inches all the way up to 24 on 4-inch increments. So you can just peel off layers, and you can use the pads for other things, right? Use them for seated dips,
That's so cool.
push-ups, sit-ups, like whatever you want. So yeah, we're just trying to find something for the home market that might be useful. But one of my funniest box jump memories I have was quite a few years ago, when I was more in competitive shape, and I was working out with a young colleague of mine who was just a stud. This kid was a former Navy rescue swimmer, and he was just, ended up being the top guy in our gym, and he would just smoke us at every workout. And he was my best friend, and I didn't mind it. Like, I knew he was going to beat me, but he gave me something to chase. And we were doing a workout on Thanksgiving morning that had 30-inch box jumps. And with 30-inch, I don't try and rush, because I'm not a big jumper. So I'm just methodically, getting on the box and then hopping down. And he's way ahead of me, going ballistic. And he on the last round, and it finished with box jumps, and he caught his toe, came down on his shin, put like a 5-inch long gash all the way to the bone, and hit the ground holding his shin, writhing in pain, blood squirting everywhere. It was like a Quentin Tarantino movie. And so he's right beside me. So I'm doing my box jump, and I see him rolling around in pain, and I had about 4 more box jumps. And so I finished my box jumps and said, I won. And then I went and took care of him, and actually drove him to the hospital. When they put stitches, they had to do stitches inside and stitches outside, which was pretty funny on Thanksgiving morning. But at least I beat him in the workout. So
I mean, of course.
I've had that happen so many times. We had to institute a rule early on. This is in the super competitive early days of CrossFit, that if at some point we were like, all right, listen, guys, if somebody hits their shin, you got to at least give them a courtesy. You okay? And then if they say they're okay, you can keep going. You got to quit beating people and gloating. I did that so many times to people.
I just feel like everybody gets one, right? Everybody gets one real bad shin bonk, and then mine was very early on, and I remember it like, it kind of like, it didn't tear down to the bone, but it tore down to like the fascia, like that like connective tissue, where like it took like a whole minute or 2 to start bleeding at all. For a while it was just white, and I was like, what is happening? What is happening to my body? I don't understand.
It's funky looking. It's very funky looking. So
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
So,
but that box fixes that problem for people.
It does. Yeah. The box is fun. Definitely enjoy the box. So a new one that I haven't released yet, but I'm excited to show you. This one I'm super proud of. So my thing is, I always like to try and figure out how can we create a progression for people, because there's always like, with skills, there's the haves and have-nots. Either you can do double unders or you can't, right? Either you can do muscle ups or you can't. I mean, there's not a lot of like intermediate progressions, and that always bugged me, just because my wife and I, with our gymnastics coaching background, right, it was always about having progressions and bringing people into skills very methodically, so that they really had a solid foundation. And I patented a muscle up ring. I have to bring that ring back into the market. We've had manufacturing issues, but I invented a muscle up ring that has built up platforms that it helps with your false grip. and it just allows people to work their strict muscle up, and allows them to hold a false grip. And you can attach a band to it, and you could do band assisted strict muscle ups, just like you do band assisted strict pull-ups, right? To get stronger at pull-ups before you
Right.
do
'Cause I
unassisted and then kipping.
try so hard. I put one band in each ring, and I'm trying
Yeah.
to put my feet in them, and there's no way to do it. And then they're like,
Yeah.
snapping all up into my crotch. It's not
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
It's
So
not
yeah.
fun.
So that ring, I need to get that back on the market, because that's a great. We just need to retool it, because we made it out of wood, and we probably need to make it out of a different material. But anyway, so moving forward, another thing that I watched for years is the people who would just struggle with rope climbs, learning how to rope climb, and it's always fascinated me that there wasn't a lot of things you could do. Like the best, everybody sits on a box and then just leans back and practices their foot lock. And the really the best progression you could do for rope climb is if your ropes are close enough to your pull-up rig, and you hang a rope over the rig, or even hang it over and even tie it in a loop. That way it's stationary. And then you hold your pull-up bar, and then you practice your foot lock, and then stand. Put
Yeah.
weight on your feet and do a
Right.
pull-up, right? So the problem is that most gyms don't have that capacity, because you typically want your ropes far away from your rig. That way you don't have any injuries, right? So anyway, I came up with the rope climb wizard. Can you see it? I can't see myself, so I don't
Yes,
know.
I can
We can
see
see it.
it.
Yep.
What is that thing?
Looks like a bicycle handle, kind of.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm laying in bed one morning, and I just, it's something I've been pondering like for the last several years, and I don't know why this one morning things clicked and came together, and I rushed into work and grabbed a PVC pipe, and I had this webbing strap that was from our old gymnastics days, and I kind of like tinkered and rigged it onto the rope, and I made a little T-bar to hang on the rope so that I could practice my foot lock over and over and over, right? Because that's your weak link. When people are trying to learn a rope climb, they're always trying to fidget with their feet. They're uncoordinated. They don't know, what goes where. Meanwhile, they're slipping, and they're preoccupied because they can't hold
Right.
themselves this way very long. And so, so this removes that barrier and allows people to hang and practice their foot lock methodically, and then do stand-ups. I call them stand-ups, right? So they can like lock their feet, stand up, and then let their feet swing off the rope, swing it back on, lock them just like you would, right, to mimic a true rope climb, and then stand up. So it's I've been using it at CrossFit East County is my home gym that I belong to, and everybody there is always our little lab rats that we get to kind of test these things out on, and teach so many people rope climbs so fast with this silly little tool. So I'm excited to get this out there, because I think it's going to help a lot of people. And I do think climbing rope is kind of an important life skill, just because sometimes you got to get out of a tree, or get in a tree, or get out of a burning building on the second floor, and you tie sheets together. I mean, it's life. I think climbing a rope up or down is an important life skill. So anyway, so I'm excited to get that going. Those should be out pretty soon.
Cool. I love
Yeah.
it.
Very, very cool stuff. Nikki and I have been
Appreciate it.
working on something. You want to see our project?
Yeah, let me see it.
I'm going to show you our project. I have a very wonderful photo of Nikki here.
Oh,
Look at
hey,
this
it's
belt.
me.
Look at this belt.
Can't
How
see the belt. My
fun.
screen's not letting me see like the whole picture.
Oh, here, hold on. Let me see if I can get you
You're
a
gonna have
bigger
to watch
photo.
it back. Hey,
Oh,
so
look at that.
cute.
Look at that. Our Kettlebells and Cocktails belt
That's awesome.
that we're releasing.
Who's it
this
made by?
Tupood.
Tupood. There you go.
Yep, we're releasing this tomorrow. Actually, we got our new belts coming out, and then if I can get this on the screen, a couple of shirts
Congrats.
coming out
Thank
with it.
you.
Their official
Been a
logo
long
on it.
time coming. Been a long time coming. I'm so excited. I'm so incredibly excited about this belt. I feel like first of all, our logo is so fun. Shout out to Landy Design Co. who helped us make that. Like very
Nice.
just like on point, on brand, like everything that we that we strive for in this podcast, to be like fun and down to earth and part of the community and all that. And hey, you know, there was someone wearing it at semifinals and he thought it was a fruit cup. So, and that resonated with him.
That was
So
so
good
weird, by the way. So
God,
weird.
I couldn't even believe it. There was like an athlete out on the floor. We have not released this belt, and I'm staring at him from the sideline, and I was like, that's our freaking belt.
How'd he get it?
Are you serious? Well, Tupood came to the gym, and you know, like we're helping support athletes who were going into semifinals and let everyone like pick out the belt that they wanted, and they have a bazillion designs. And so this guy was like, I want that one. And he came off the competition floor, and I was like, dude, your belt. And he was like, yeah, it's the fruit cup belt from Tupood. And I was like, no, it's my podcast belt. That's my logo.
hilarious.
And I like turned it. I'm like, it's on him. And I'm like pointing to it. I'm like, see where it says John and Nikki? I'm Nikki. And he's like, no,
amazing.
I know. He knew who we were and he listened to the show, but he didn't put two and two together. So anyway, if you like the show, or if you like kettlebells and or cocktails, or if you like fruit cups, go on, get the belt.
I like all three.
Go on and get the belt. And we'll have like a link to it on Tupood's website, and we will have a promo code that we can share once it's live. We can put it in the show notes, and we can put it in on our social media tomorrow. But it comes out tomorrow, so keep an eye out, everyone.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Guys.
Thank
That's
you.
exciting. Yeah.
Thank you very
love
much.
it.
I
What a
think that
great
the
story.
shirts are coming later, but the belt is coming tomorrow. Does that sound
There you
right?
go.
Yeah, that's right.
I have no idea. I'm just along for this ride. I'm just along for the ride, Dave. This is how this podcast works.
Well, you got a good driver then. You got a good steerer of the ship.
Wah, wah.
I'm just here for the
Love it.
snarky comments. That's my whole job. That is my entire job.
Well, hey, I don't know when you're gonna kick me off, but before we do, I'd like to get my two shout outs and a little informative pieces out if I could.
Bring it on.
Hawaiian Trail Run. If you haven't been, Hawaiian Trail Run, September
Yes.
17th. It's going to be full force, September 17th, out on Kauai. That's where I was actually on a board meeting right before jumping on with you guys. I apologize, I was a little tardy. But it's run by the Keala Foundation and Aaron Hoff, who founded the Keala Foundation and the Trail Run. So that's just an amazing program that they're putting together, and I just learned so much more of things that they've been developing just for youth programs out on the island of Kauai. And they're really, I think the ultimate goal is to really like create these programs that they can then spread out to other areas and let other people jump in. And so they're partnering with other gyms on Kauai, which is new because basically Aaron was just setting up his own CrossFit gyms that could facilitate, this kids program. But it's phenomenal. And the trail runs is like one of the biggest fundraisers of the year for them, but it's just such a fun event. Either of you have been or haven't?
No, we have not.
I've been invited a couple of times, and then COVID hit, and we all quit traveling. So.
Yep.
My best friend Logan has gone out to help a few times with like emceeing and helping with coaching and stuff like that. And she loves it every year. It's like her favorite event.
Yeah, Logan's awesome. Yeah, she does amazing when she's out there. So so that's on the calendar, September 17th. Get out there. That's going to be a fun one. And then Power Monkey Camp is first week of October. That's another thing. If you haven't been to a Power Monkey Camp, it still baffles me that when I mention it to people, they have absolutely no clue. My brother-in-law, I was just having dinner with my brother-in-law a week ago or so, and he's been CrossFitting for quite a while, not as long as us, but almost. And so he's been around, and I told him about Power Monkey Camp. He and his wife had never heard of it. And I was just baffled.
Come on. Do you know that we have never been? I can't believe that I've never been. And I cannot believe my husband has never been, because like Power Monkey Camp is like made for Matt. Matt is like the kid that never grew up that would like he like wants to like monkey bar across the rig every time he walks into the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's insane. We got to find a time to go.
You guys got to go. I mean, it's kettlebells and cocktails and fruit cups and all that. Like
totally.
It's literally CrossFit camp for adults. and with the best instructors in the world. They're amazing. So you just learn so much. But just the environment is so cool. It's just such a fun week. So it'll be our 18th camp. So ninth year doing. We do 2 a year, spring and fall. This will be our 18th camp. So yeah.
Where is it located?
It's in a little town. Actually, it's outside of a little town called Crossville, Tennessee, which is about 30 minutes from Cookeville, 30 minutes from Mayhem. Yep. And so every camp on Wednesday, there's a field trip to the Mayhem gym, and that's typically where Chris Hinshaw will put everybody through his aerobic capacity program and put them through several workouts and teach them up. So they do that at the Mayhem gym, and everybody gets to, buy souvenirs and t-shirts. And, every once in a while, Rich may be there and they may get a photo op, but typically he's up at his barn. And I usually use that time to go visit the barn and check in on those guys, make sure all their equipment is good and their ropes are set ready for comp. So, but yeah, it's an amazing week. So, and the facility it's actually a year-round gymnastics camp. It's a full-time privately owned gymnastics camp that 2 former Olympians, U.S. Olympians, partnered up, bought the land, cleared it. I mean, literally like tore down trees and cleared this. I mean, they had quite a vision to clear this land and build all these bungalows, build a chow hall, build a 30,000 square foot facility, like gymnastics facility. And so after their busy season ends, they recycle all their equipment. They'll sell it off and then get, new stuff in for the new season. But during that downtime is when we bring in all the CrossFit equipment, set up rigs, rings, squat racks, assault bikes, assault runners, like all the above. And then everybody gets the most amazing CrossFit experience of their life.
I know. We gotta go. I gotta get Matt to go. I'm like, seriously, he's like born for it.
Yeah.
He's the definition of big gymnastics. That he's got some big man gymnastic skills.
Well, it's a couple grand to go. I think if you don't get an early bird discount, the rate's up to like $2,400, I want to say, for the week. And that's you get yourself there, at least get yourself to the Nashville airport, and then the shuttle bus will pick you up and bring you to camp. And then once you're there, it's all inclusive. So all the meals are covered.
Exactly.
Yeah, yep. It's phenomenal. But if you guys went, and I should link you up with Dave Durante and Chad Vaughn and
Love
you guys
Dave.
Go. Yeah, Dave's amazing. Go and maybe broadcast there and maybe be kind of a broadcast arm of the camp and
Let's do it.
Document your experience. You guys would love it. And there's a lot of late night wine tasting going on too, by the way. So
I figure, well, if it's CrossFit camp, then
right.
It has to be that way.
Yeah.
Definitely get talked into that. Well, one last thing before we wrap it up, you're going to see Danny and Alec next week, right?
I am.
Fun.
Yeah,
our besties.
Yeah, I am. We actually just had dinner with Danny and her boyfriend last week here in town before they scooted out. Leaving on Monday, and I'll spend a few days out there with them, and hopefully we're going to capture some media with them and hopefully Laura too. Trying to get that all worked out. Yeah, because Laura's there, and Danny's excited to train with her. That'll be a fun duo to watch get after it.
Get those two ladies ready for the games.
Yeah, and a really great little camp that they're starting to form just by like being friends and wanting to be together and push each other. It's very cool to see.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's super cool. Actually, I heard through the grapevine that Danielle Brandon's going to go up and train with Mal and Matt up with her coach. They're going to go up and just, the coaches are getting edgy. They're getting around each other and, spending some time. So it'll be some neat, I'm sure they're going to capture media. I have no idea, but I'm, sure they'll capture media while they're doing it, but it'd be fun to see, because now we have, in a sense, the AFC and the NFC, you have these different teams
totally
that won their divisions. Right. And so now we get to see them like, okay, will will the winners of each semifinal be the top 5 or what have you right at the games? It'll be really curious to see. So, in these head-to-heads. So, yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And
I
there's a good
like
group.
them like going together and figuring stuff out together and not being super secretive, because I feel like it's in each coach's best interest to make their athlete the best. And to be the best, you got to go up against the best. So like it's cool to see them sort of
Oh,
not like
yeah.
sharing trade secrets, but like being like, yeah, come up, like shit, put your people with my people. Let's see what happens. Like we all need to train to get better. So like let's just do it.
I don't know if people forgot. Absolutely, I 100% agree with you. And I don't know if people forgot, but Matt Frazier trained under Shane Orr with Tia for whatever year and a half. Following Shane's programming, so he's got insight to what they do and mixed with what he does. And when Scotty Panchik went to go be on Mayhem's team. I talked to Scott about it, and he's like, I'm excited to go see how Rich trains. Like, I want something new, some new spin on things. And I'm sure I might be able to teach, Rich a few things. And, so it's neat to see, a lot of sharing going on. And it's kind of cool. And you got the Brute crew down in Naples that are killing it. They got some amazing athletes. And I think all that synergy building off each other is pretty interesting. And I noticed in the Morning Chalk Up, there was an article about the athlete that train alone, like the Fikowskis, and
I saw that today.
People like that. Yeah.
That's also very interesting in there. Yeah, I think it's just there's space for every type of person. There's space for all those personalities, and there's space for people to make this their own. And I like that you can't quite put your finger on the magic solution. It's not always a training camp. It's not always being alone. It's not always sharing. It's not always being secretive. It's like I like that it's unpredictable and you can't there's no best practice almost. You just got to figure out like who these individuals are and what their personal recipe is for success. It's different across the board.
I do think the magic formula is you have to be 5'6". I'm pretty sure.
That's part of it. Yes, that's totally part of it. I had to break it to Matt that he, my Matt Brazier, not Frazier, that he will never make it to the games at like 6'2".
Yeah. They're not going to lower the bar. They're not going to raise the bars for him, so he won't be able to do pull-ups.
They're not. Nope.
Problem.
They won't be able to do anything. Nope. You're right.
Oh my gosh.
You're right.
Too funny. Yeah. So it'll be fun. I'm going to, go hang out with those guys next week. And this should be good. I think we'll capture some good media and be fun to watch those guys and coach them up a little bit. They're always looking to, sharpen their tool bag anywhere they can. Yeah. So.
Dude, super jealous, but I'm excited for you. That'll be fun. You guys will have a blast.
Thanks.
Sure. Well, dude, thanks for joining. We appreciate you coming on.
Dave, thanks.
Spending time and talking about what's going on and just shooting the shit. That's kind of Nikki and I's favorite part of the week. Just talking about the issues and finding what other people viewpoints. And I'm always interested to hear your viewpoint because you're an OG and I love talking to OGs. So fun for me.
Appreciate it. Well, since we did this during happy hour, next time we need to, I don't know if mom is still breastfeeding and if that's an issue, but it needs to be kettlebells aside, it should be a cocktail hour while we're having these discussions. We might get a little looser and, get some real topics out there.
That's right. It usually is. Also, I am still breastfeeding, but I give myself like half of a dark beer and I'm feeling
There you
good.
go. There you go.
Yeah, and I'm cutting back till after the games, but when the games get here, it's on. So
okay, next date will be end of August.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, sounds like a plan. Well, appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on. It's always good catching up with you guys.
Anytime, Nikki. Great seeing you again as always.
Likewise.
I'm sure we'll talk 100 times tomorrow when we launch the belt. So everybody keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, congrats on that.
Super excited. Can't wait.
Super cool.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.